Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and it's looking like Kamala Harris is prepared to take the top spot on the Democrat ticket away from Joe Biden. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And guys, we have a lot of information about what's going on with the Biden campaign that's going to be uploaded today in the members only section. So if you want to be a member and you support Donald Trump, hit that join button and become a member of this channel. So what's going on right now with Kamala Harris is some of her staff is getting antsy. So this is, according to this report, the best 3 weeks she's ever had as vice president. Why? Because she's the heir apparent. Now there's more to that I'm going to have in the members video, but the point is she's the heir apparent right now. She's the one that has access to the fundraising money. She's the one that's already on the ticket and voters actually voted for. So if they don't want to get around democracy, and of course, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, if you skip over the first black female vice president to go pick a white man, let's say, I think you're going to destroy your votes with women and your votes in the black community. But her staff believes that she's made one big mistake during this whole time. A big mistake that could cost her and could be a career ruiner. I want you to watch this video, and I want you to let me know what you think about it in the comments.
Yeah, and that anger was evident last night with some very forceful and specific pushback from members of the Biden team about some reporting that the president had decided to step out away from the race. His team is saying that is not the case. He is still in this. We know he is currently recovering at his beach home in Rehoboth after COVID as the pressure mounts. And certainly the walls do seem like they're closing in, and the fundraising drying up, these influential Democrats pushing him toward the door. Remains to be seen if that just perhaps stiffens the president's resolve to stay in, or whether his inner circle and the president himself eventually bow to the reality that he can't win. One of the things that the president has cited that he will inform his decision as to whether or not he thinks, if he's shown data, that someone else can beat Donald Trump, and that someone else in particular, his vice president, Kamala Harris. And Michael Schmidt, you've been doing a lot of reporting on the vice president and this delicate dance that she and her team have to conduct right now, where they are publicly fully supportive of President Biden. I know that's been well received in the West Wing, but of course she and her allies recognize that if the president does step aside, there could be an opportunity here. But as Willie just noted, we don't know what would happen next if suddenly there's a vacancy at the top of the ticket, whether President Biden would say, look, I want you to go to my running mate, or whether this is some sort of open contest.
Yeah, what would that path look like? What is the precedent for it, and how much time is left on the clock to do that? How would that be done at the convention? What we wrote about yesterday was about how this is behind the scenes been a bit messy. There have been different flare-ups where the vice president's staff has been concerned that in the process of trying to prop up the president's, chances of winning, that they've denigrated the vice president, or that they were going to denigrate the vice president. In one instance, learning that a staffer from the White House Legislative Affairs Office had been talking to a member of Congress and may have, basically said the vice president doesn't have good enough chances of winning. That's why Biden has to stay in the race. And this made its way all the way to the White House chief of staff, who had to send out warnings to West Wing officials that, look, we need to be very careful in how we discuss the vice president here because of this unusual situation. We need to be able to advocate for the president without denigrating the vice president, because, I don't think the White House chief of staff said what I'm about to say, but because the vice president could be the person on the ticket. And that's really hard, thing to navigate, and they've had to really confront that in the past 3 weeks as they've done this dance, and as the vice president has probably had the best 3 weeks of her time in office, where she has really found her footing and been out there as sort of the tip of the spear for the campaign.